And this just leads people to just give up, or they just become unnatural, you know, they take other things. Social media is just massive these days. You know, everyone's on their phones scrolling, TikTok, Instagram, things like that. Constant comparison. And that's in like any area of life. You know, we're talking about fitness here. You know, everyone's comparing the physiques, you know. If they don't look like a certain person they look up to or admire, or fitness influencer in the industry, you know, who probably has like one of the best genetics in the world, you know. They don't have a physique like that or come close to it, or start to get a physique like that after like 3, 4, 5, 6 months. They think, oh, what's the point? They could feel pressurized to get on something like an external substance. There's constant comparison everywhere. In relationships, you know, people's life in general, they look online, everyone's celebrating their happiest moments, you know, the happiest positive parts of their life. You compare your situation to that, and it can make you feel down, you know, crap about yourself. You think, oh, my life kind of sucks in comparison to that, you know. I wish I had that thing. I wish I could do that thing, go to that place, you know, meet that girl, this, that, the other, have that job. And it is men and women that struggle with this. Do you know what I mean? On the guy side of things, you know, to look a certain way, certain physique, you know, V-tape, that muscular, athletic, lean physique, or you want to shoot for that massive bodybuilding physique. You know, these physiques are crazy, you know. And you see them in Hollywood and stuff like that as well. For women, you know, to look a certain way, have a flat stomach, or big butt, or whatever, lip fillers, certain hair extensions, you know, it's everywhere. And you know what they say, comparison is the thief of joy. And why? Because when you're constantly comparing yourself to everyone, you're never satisfied, do you? Do you know what I mean? You always want more, you always want more, you always want more. When you get that thing you wanted, you're like, oh, I actually want this other thing now as well. Never satisfied, always wanting more, to be a certain way, you know. It can really crush your self-esteem and confidence when you completely only focus on other people than just focusing on yourself and being better than what you were, you know, yesterday, a month ago, 3 months ago. And lads, I've had this myself, you know, started out in fitness, skinny, you know, no muscle, you know, struggling to gain weight. I did a lot of stupid things, you know, in terms of I tried to eat healthy and I wasn't enough calories, turned even more skinny, this, that, the other, you know, but then over time, learned more, adapted, progressive overload in the gym, you know, actually pushing yourself and your muscles, do more reps than last time, sets than last time, bringing the intensity, you know, the frequency, constantly showing up, you know, staying consistent. You won't get results if you don't stay consistent at the end of the day. So I kept on showing up. But lads, I was happy I was building muscle over time, you know. I stuck the course and I could see the results coming through. Then I'd go on social media like you guys probably have as well, and so many other people, and then you're like, oh damn, my physique is absolutely terrible compared to these guys, you know, these are the fitness influencers. And then you start thinking, oh, why? Do you know what I mean? I'm doing everything I can. Do my genetics just suck? Are these other guys on something? Are they just got amazing genetics? And then you start to think, am I doing everything right? You think you're doing everything right, but are you? And what should have been like a celebration of your, you know, your hard work, your consistency. You showed up, you've built muscle, you've built that better physique. Soon turns into a constant unhappiness, you know, like some form of body dysmorphia. Every time you look in the mirror, you know, it's not enough, you know. And then you don't clap for yourself when you get those wins. You've done a great job so far, but then because you're constantly comparing yourself to everyone else, you can't even have those small celebrations. You don't see them anymore. Oh, but what if, you know, this part of my shoulder was a bit bigger, you know, a bit wider? What if my chest, it was a bit bigger? Do you know what I mean? My bicep, they need to be bigger. Or my back sucks, you know, it's not thick enough, or it's not wide enough. Or my quads, absolutely terrible. I got no glutes, you know, I got a flat butt, you know, calves non-existent. I need to keep working. Do you know what I mean? It's a never-ending game. I know, and some days you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm looking decent, I'm looking shredded. Or some days you wake up, you're like, I'm looking flat, I don't even look like I lift. Yeah, do you know what I mean? All these things running through your head, the body dysmorphia is rampant, and then you can constantly compare yourself, everyone on Instagram, all the fitness influencers, or anyone in general, do you know what I mean, with a good physique, or a physique that you would want. Lads can really tank the mental health, your mental health. As it already doesn't help as well on social media, when people claim to be natural, when you can just tell they're not. Just based on their size, or based on what they used to look like a year ago compared to what they look like now. Lads, it's crazy, and it really does warp your perception. Stuff like this on the Hollywood films and movies, stuff like that as well. These guys, you know, they've gone from like, their physiques are terrible, or they're out of shape, and then all of a sudden they've just turned to an absolute beast. They look juiced to the gills, do you know what I mean? And then your perception on what a good, you know, lean, athletic, you know, natural muscular physique looks like compared to a juiced up physique, you have no idea. Because a lot of people are lying around, you know, in the industry, not being truthful. It's crazy as well to see, like, you look at like a superhero film back in the day, let's say Tobey Maguire, you know, in Spider-Man. When you first saw that physique, you were like, damn, that's a jacked up physique, do you know what I mean? But then if you look at that same physique now these days, you just think, oh, you know, he's lean, he's, you know, a bit lean, he's a bit muscular. But it's not jacked to these standards today, are they? You know, jacked to these standards today is Thor in Thor Love and Thunder. Have you seen that physique? Like, that's mad. That's not a natural physique. But our perceptions are so skewed and stuff these days. That is what is ultimately jacked. And the Tobey Maguire physique is no longer jacked. It's more like, bro, do you even lift? Do you know what I mean? You're in a t-shirt. You don't even look like you lift. Like, that's the standards it's come to today. Like, it's crazy. There's an instance in the fitness industry we can talk about, you know, Alex Eubank, amazing physique, you know, natural physique up until, you know, more recently then you decided to go on TRT, which I don't agree with because, you know, as a young lad, I don't think he needed to do that. Maybe wait a bit later on in your, you know, late 30s, early 40s or something like that, because I don't see the point otherwise. You know, he's still really young. I don't know what reasons it was. I think he just didn't feel energized. He said he had low T. Wanted to build more muscle probably just to compete. I don't know what his main reason was, but I don't think he should do it, you know, at that young of an age. You know, but then you get other people, you know, looking up to, you know, Alex, he's an influencer, do you know what I mean? So they're going to think, you know, they could be the same age or younger, you know, early 20s and be like, oh, he's doing that, you know, why don't I do it? You know, maybe I can get that physique if I do that. And it really does influence people and does skew the perception, you know, of what you can build naturally and then not normalizing, you know, taking TRT, you know, in your early 20s. Now, if you're an older guy, you know, maybe your late 30s or early 40s or 50s and you've got low testosterone, you know, that's fine. Maybe you do that then, but I won't do it at such a young age. You know, it's not necessary unless you've got diabolical levels of testosterone. Lads, at the end of the day, the body perceptions and standards have just increased, you know, over the years to just a crazy level. Trying to compare yourself to anyone else and all these influencers on social media. Everyone has like different genetics, different like muscle insertions, different potentials. But also they could be taking something like an external substance, you know, helping them out, so making it easier for them to gain that muscle. And lads, you know, if you're a natural lifter, you're not gonna gain muscle as fast as them or be able to maintain it, you know what I mean? So only compare yourself to, you know, who you were yesterday, you know, a month ago, a year ago. You know, are you making progress? You know, you're going to the gym with the best intention and you push yourself progressive overload, you bring the intensity and the frequency, constantly trying to get better, you know, changing the mind and the body. You know, at the end of the day, you're competing with yourself. You know, try not to, it's easier said than done, but screw your perception online, you know, because body dysmorphia is, you know, rampant as it is. You know, you get into fitness, into like the bodybuilding side of things, you want to gain muscle, you're probably going to get a bit of it anyway. Kind of comes with the journey, so try not to be too hard on yourself, you know, just keep doing the best you can. And lads, on your fitness journey, you know, you're transforming over time, you're staying consistent. Make sure you celebrate the, you know, the small wins. You know, you got to clap for yourself, you know. Make sure you do that. You know, you're more likely to stick to the course and then not jump on some external substance because you want to look like, you know, one of your favorite influencers on social media, and you're not doing it for the right reasons. With that being said, lads, if you enjoyed this video, why not watch another one? I'm sure you'll enjoy it. You got this.